It's a beautiful Wednesday to make money with some props and parlays. I'm Andy. Welcome to Props and Parlays Today. Let's get started. We're going to the WNBA, and we talked a little bit about the WNBA and some situations that could come up tonight. But we also talked about this regression thing with points, rebounds, and assists and points. And we talked about with Dearica Hamby last night, and sure enough, she went under. She was due for an under, so we gave it out as a free play in her last game, and she went over. But we knew that the streak was unsustainable. Sure enough, so she goes under her total. So if you didn't catch yesterday's show, what we were talking about was some of these categories that I've been focusing on for WNBA, the points, rebounds, and assists, and the points category. What I've been noticing is the players in the WNBA don't really go on streaks that get up above 6, 7 games in a row. It's just you just don't see it. In the WNBA, you kind of see it all the time. So it's kind of tough to pick those regression spots to take an under. But what I've been noticing with the WNBA is, we go through these. We'll go through the different categories. See the biggest streak for overs in points, rebounds, and assists is 6. Then we go to points, and the top one is 4. And we go to rebounds, and the top one is 4. These are just for today's games. We go to the assists. The top one is 3. So what I've been doing and noticing in WNBA is if you can find these streaks that seem like they're unsustainable, it's a great time to fire an under. So we can look at a couple of them, and we'll take a look here at Jackie Young. Now, Jackie Young has been absolutely tearing it up this year. I'm not sure if she's the one that I really want to go against here. I mean, we look at her start of the year. She goes over 5 games in a row. She kind of has some unders here, and now she's on a nice streak of 6 games in a row. I will say, her total is 27.5. If you look, 28, 29, 28, 29. So she is like right on that. I mean, she's one rebound short of going under in some of these, one basket going under. So I believe that regression is coming, but man, it's pretty tough to take an under on a player that's gone over this total as many times as she had. That being said, do we think she's going to go over 7 games in a row? That's a lot to ask of a WNBA player. So I'm not playing the over on Jackie Young. If anything, I'm playing the under on that one. Leah Boston, she plays with Caitlin Clark here in my neck of the woods here in Indianapolis. I mean, she has just been. I mean, these stats were terrible at the beginning of the year, and she looked clumsy, she looked lost, and now she has hit her stride. 9 out of 10 games. This is another one that I'm not sure I want to get in front of this train. But again, her total's 26.5, and what do we see here in her last 10 games? 28, 29, 27. So there's 3 out of the last 4 games that could have easily gone under. So again, Boston, I don't know if this streak is sustainable. It's certainly not sustainable long term. But do you want to try and take the under in her next game? That would be the only way that I would play it. So there's a couple of points, rebounds, and assists. We talked a little bit about rebounds. Alyssa Smith. This is one that I would certainly take a look at an under. You look at her; she's been absolutely stacking the rebounds, but this is not someone that does it all throughout the year. So this is one that I would look at an under as well. And if we want to go to points and see what streaks we're looking at, we're looking at Alicia Gray and we're looking at Kelsey Plum. I think Plum might be a nice one to consider. I might put this up as a free play. She's gone over 4 games in a row, and this is someone that does not go over 4 games in a row. So that's kind of what we've been talking about with WNBA and how to get some of these. Just grab a couple units here or there that adds to the bankroll. We talked yesterday about just only going 2-0 in last month in WNBA and gave us 6% added onto our bankroll. It's huge. Absolutely huge. So I actually have an official WNBA play that is up at WagerTalk. I'll go over that in a second. So, but those are some spots that I might be looking at on the WNBA. Let's take a look at some props that are coming out now on UFC. UFC breakdown video went up on the other channel. It's kind of a prelim look, and then our one for this channel will be up on Friday. But you're kind of looking here at This is in Denver, and I love the overs. This fight night is in Denver, Colorado, at altitude, and you've got a lot of fighters that just do not have great cardio. And we saw this in PFL, where they just got tired and they hugged each other and went the distance. So if I'm looking at some of these fights that go over, I think you really got to consider these for some parlay pieces. The Jackson Blackshear, these guys are pretty evenly matched. I love this as a parlay piece, going over 2.5 rounds at minus 215. Fremd over Petrosky over 1.5. I think these guys are pretty equal. Neither of these guys are knockout artists, so you're not getting a knockout. They do like to wrestle and get on the ground, and they do like submissions, but both of them are okay on the ground. And I think they're able to defend. And once this gets out of the first round, these guys are not going to be able to. These guys are not going to be able to have the cardio or the other thing about it, in these high altitudes, they sweat right off the bat, and so it's so hard to lock up these submissions. So over 1.5 on Fremd Petrosky minus 188, absolutely. No way I'm taking an over on Santos and Agapova. We broke down Agapova's life story. What's going on with her, why we like unders on that one. Van and Charles Johnson. It's a Charles Johnson fight. Every single fight of Charles Johnson has gone the distance except this one against Jimmy Flick, who's the under machine. You're getting that one at minus 360 over 2.5. Jasmine Jasudavicius and Fatima Climb. I love the over in this one. Both of these women have similar skill sets. They both have good cardio. I expect that to go the distance. So there's some pretty good props here on this one. I think sneakily the over 1.5 on Bonfim and Lusa is going to be good. Bonfim is coming off a win where he gassed himself in the first round. I think he learned his lesson. Not going to do that again, and Lusa's going to just try and wrestle Bonfim and gas him out. I think Lusa causes this fight to go over. And if it does get into later rounds, look out. Look out. This could be your parlay buster of the night. So we've seen a couple of these plus 3.5s pop up. We don't have them on some of these other ones, so we'd have to wait and see. If Van's a minus 218 favorite, I would love to get a plus 3.5 on Charles Johnson. I think Charles Johnson's cardio is pretty good. Van's certainly the better striker, but Johnson just makes these fights really, really close. I think he steals around from Van, maybe getting it to the ground. So, all right. So that's kind of some looks here at UFC. I wanted to talk a little bit about the individual round scores at the Scottish Open. I think we need to look at these really, really close. The weather is just going to be perfect for these guys, especially the guys that tee off later in the morning. So this is over in Scotland, so you can see these guys start teeing off around 2:30 in the morning. There's like a 20% chance of rain, and the wind is listed as a breeze. This course is very easy if there's no bad weather. I mean, very easy. Like, you go back to last year, and these guys shot pretty low, and then the fourth round came along, there was 40-mile-an-hour winds. Not going to be the case this year. So I think unders on the first round scores are going to be good. I am well aware that the last time I did this, I got burned. This was at the Canadian Open where I was like, conditions are easy. These guys are going to go under. And then they all went over. But I'm not to be deterred here. So this is a par 70. So you got someone like Denny McCarthy, who's the best putter on tour. Yes, he is the best putter on tour. Under 68.5, he only needs to get to 2 under. Will Zalatoris, no way. But you look at some of these guys that tee off a little bit later in the morning here, and Sepp Straka only needs to get to 2 under. He's been playing well. Colin Morikawa only needs to get to 3 under. This is going to be right up his alley. This is a second shot type of course. Matsuyama only needs to get to 2 under here. I wouldn't touch any of these guys, but I just think there's going to be some really low scores out there, and I would not be scared to fire away on a couple of these round one under scores. I would be looking at trying to take guys at the 68.5. That way they only need to get to 2 under. So I will tell you, I put up a free play on Brian Harmon. That is up at WagerTalk.com. Under 68.5. This is a guy that shot 67, 65, 67 in the first 3 rounds at this exact tournament and this exact course last year when the conditions were good. Now, in round 4, when the winds got up to 40 miles an hour, he went way over this. But it's Brian Harman, who's getting ready for next week. He's the defending champion of the Open Championship, so he's going to want to play good, and especially in the first couple rounds. So I would expect this is a Brian Harman's biggest weakness is his driving distance, and with no weather being a factor, this course is only 7,200 yards. He's going to be fine. There are 3 par 5s that are reachable in 2. Actually, for him, probably only 2, but the third, as long as he hits the fairway, he's going to be able to put his second shot up within probably 30, 20 yards of the green. And there are just tons of par 4s that are gettable. So don't be surprised at all if you see some unders on this Scottish Open. So that's where I would be looking here for some of these. We will be looking at doing some darts plays. This World Match Play starts on Saturday. So, yes, we absolutely will have darts plays in that. And then in CFL, if you're a parlay bettor like myself, don't forget on Thursday, the Alouettes are minus 325. They play the Argonauts. I have not decided what I'm going to put with the Alouettes, but we cashed on them last week. They were part of our play of the week, so I will probably do that. And then Andrew McGinnis, who I do really trust his opinion on CFL, he said the BC Lions are a really good parlay piece. He's not a believer in the Rough Riders, Rough Riders have beaten like 4 of the worst teams in the league. So they got this really nice record, but it doesn't look good. He said he doesn't trust the backup quarterback, and neither should I. And I just have to point out that seeing the Edmonton Elks at almost minus 200 on the money line is absolute insanity. I know the Red Blacks aren't very good, but Jesus, neither are the Elks. So anyway, all right. So those are the props and the parlays that I will be looking at. Official plays that are up right now. We do have the Scottish Open pack that will include all of our plays for the Scottish Open, even the individual round scores, matchups, any props that we see throughout the tournament. That Brian Harman free play is a part of that. So if you want the rest of our plays, go grab that. We do have a Wednesday WNBA best bet that is up. We have not played a lot of these officially, but we've hit 63% of them. We've easily hit our last 2, and that is up. We're number 2 in props for the season in 2024. So really happy with that. If you want to get 30 days, now is a perfect time to do that. You get 30% off. There's no promo code needed. It's only $7 per day. I just looked up our last 30 days. How would you have done the last 30 days? Well, 50 and 25 for plus 20.5 units. So it really is a no-brainer this time of year or any time of year for for the things that we do. So if you just go to my profile page, you can see here that the WagerTalk specials and all plays. You just scroll down a little bit and you'll see it right there in the middle of the page. You just click on that and you get 30% off a 30-day pass, which is by far the best way to play. You get all 5% plays, you get all props, you get all plays across all sports. So that's really the best way to do it. So if you just want play for today, it's a WNBA play. We're coming off our 2-0 week in golf, so feel pretty good about that. So if you want the Scottish Open pack, get that. But really, really, really good time. We're going to be only running it for another day or so, I believe. So take advantage of that. Again, no promo code needed. And that is what we have up. So if you guys could do me a favor, hit the like button. You know, it helps the algorithm out. I ask you guys for it every day. Just take a second if you're enjoying some of the plays that we're doing. Just hit the like button and leave us a comment. Tell us how everything is going. Happy Wednesday to everybody. Good luck on your plays. And we will see everyone tomorrow on Props and Parlays Today.